When we think about credit cards and who should get one and who shouldn't get one, it really comes down to your repayment ability. Because when you get a credit card, you're essentially getting a 0% interest loan until the repayment date. When that repayment date comes, if you're unable to make the payment, that is when we're in problem. That's when you get the 45%, the 50% interest being added on to your credit card balance. So if you know that you're disciplined enough to make the monthly payments as it relates to how much you've spent, that is when you want to consider getting a credit card. Don't go out there and get these exorbitant limits that you know say you have to go beg, borrow, or thief to pay back. You want to get something that you know you can comfortably pay back each month, and that's really the secret to credit card. When you think about reasons not to get a credit card, it's if you cannot manage to pay back the monthly balance. And so at that point now, you're gonna have these high interest costs being added on to the balance, and you end up in like quicksand where you're just sinking because you can't pay back the interest, you can't pay back the balance, and it keeps going up every month. You're in a rat race. So if you know I am somebody who struggles to pay back things, who are bugger people money, do not go and get a credit card to add to that level of debt. I love credit cards. Why? Because I love other people's money. Because using other people's money, aka leverage, is one of the best ways to build wealth. These days you have travel reward cards, you have cashback cards, and so using credit cards can help to pay for other things in your life. You're getting money to use in other areas. Of course, I make sure I pay it back every month. You have to make sure you do that. So right now, go and look on your credit card statement, examine the balance. Make sure it is something you are comfortable in paying. You control the balance that you get. The banks will suggest a balance to you when they approve the credit card, but you can say, here what? Bring it a little lower because I want to be in a position to make sure that I can pay this money every month. Also, stick to your budget. Do not spend what you know you cannot pay back. That is not prudent. So the combination of making sure that your credit card has a limit you can pay back, plus being wise enough to stick to your budget every month. Those two together will keep you in a position where you are not paying these exorbitant interests. So when we talk about the bagger credit cards, and some people have 3, 5, 10 cards, you see them backing out these fat wallets, fat purses with a lot of credit cards. We don't necessarily want to be in that position. Why? Credit cards have annual fees, and if you have 10 credit cards, that means 10 annual fees. That really does add up. Get a set of cards, maybe 1 or 2 cards maximum that fit your budget and your lifestyle. Do you need 10 cards? No. The fact that you have 10 cards indicates that you may have a spending problem, and that's a bigger issue that you want to work through. Don't work through it with the cards. Work through it by being disciplined and sticking to a budget.
Make money, money, make money, money, money. Make money, money, make money, money, money.
The cash advance is another popular thing. A lot of persons go and they push in the credit card into the ATM and pull cash out. Nice, because we're getting other people's money, but bad because cash advances have a very high interest rate tied to them. And even with some banks, the cash advance, you will never stop paying interest. A better option can be just going to get a short-term loan or going to a friend or family member and borrowing the money from them over the short term. When we're thinking about which credit card we want, it can first come to the bank that you do most of your transaction with. Speak to them about the different suites of credit cards that they have and the benefits. Plus, with credit cards these days, they have a lot of benefits tied to them. So when you go on the bank's website and you see all the credit cards that are there, you can pick which one works best with your lifestyle. You can shop around and find one of the lowest interest rates out there associated with the card and pick that one. Scams are very common. We want to protect ourselves as it comes to credit cards. General things, cover the pin where you're putting it. Do not just have the credit card lying out there, exposing the number and the CVV on the back of the card. We don't want to do that. Some persons lock their credit card. I've seen them do that where, they set a very small daily transactional limit so that if the card is stolen, somebody's not out there running up the credit card as well. Another thing when we think about credit card security is that two-step authentication. This is where now we do a transaction, but we get notified by email or text message about that transaction. That way, if it is not you who did the transaction, you see an email pop up, you can say, wait, that's not me. Let me quickly call my bank, tell them about this fraudulent transaction so that they can shut down my card and prevent any future fraudulent transactions on the card. The first way is called the avalanche method. Second way, we call it the snowball method. Number one in both methods, stop using the card. And then we're gonna write down the card balance and the associated interest rate on the card. So that means pulling up the statement, write down that outstanding balance and writing down the interest rate. A lot of people don't know the interest rate, but it's on the statement. It's on your monthly statement, or you can call the bank and ask them about the interest. And then there are two ways you can go about it. The first way, you can start with the card with the highest interest rate and say, I'm gonna focus on paying that off first. So all your extra income, you're gonna put that towards paying off the card. The rest of the cards, you're only making the minimum payment. Then you work down to the next one, and going down that series of interest rates. Second method is saying, all right, I want to pay off the card with the highest outstanding balance first. A lot of people choose that method because it gives you more satisfaction. You say, well, when I knock off the 10 million card or the 100,000 card, I feel good. It inspires me to keep going. So you're gonna pay off the card with the highest outstanding balance. Pay as much as you can, and then the remaining cards, you're only making the minimum payment each month. So I want you to take a stab at either one. They both work. Try, tested, and proven they work. Pay down by interest rate, the highest one to the lowest, or pay down by outstanding balance, the highest to the lowest. But key thing, stop use the cards while you're paying them off. Put them in a drawer, put them in a box, put them under your bed, under your mattress. Make sure you stop using them, because that's the only way you're going to be able to pay them down. You can't be paying and using at the same time. You're going to be in a rat race and the balance will never go down.